Good day, and I hope you're going to make it a great day. Journey, and welcome to Brothers Crossing. For the new people who's been here, welcome to the Bro Crow community. We thank you for joining us. Today's going to have another good episode. This is our sixth episode, gentlemen. I'm Roro. I'm here with my bros, Cov and Nando. What's up, fellas?
What's happening? Welcome to everyone out there, especially our international viewers.
Yep.
Bless.
I hope you're
Kate,
feeling
everyone.
better, Cov, right? Are you feeling better
God,
today?
I feel like 1,000% from where I was a week ago.
Mm.
COVID, let me tell you, COVID sucks. That's the second time I've had it. The last time was 3 years ago, but I'm just over it. Don't want to do it again. Please, whoever Typhoid Mary was running around, please just stay at home, please.
Did you feel worse this time than the first time?
It felt, when I last Saturday night, overnight, I had wicked shivers, and the way my head felt, it just came ringing back just like that. Like,
Mm.
to me, it's just a different feeling how it affects your body, and it affects
Yeah.
everyone differently, but it just was not fun. And I don't want to, hopefully don't have to do this again for quite some time.
Well, we're glad you're back again. Welcome, new listeners, Bro Crow community. What's happening with you, Nando? You good?
Nothing. I'm thoroughly excited that Cub has a live audience and I don't. So I am thoroughly excited right now. It's just so
Well,
amazing. I'm waiting for the hand claps and the laughs and waiting for that to come in at the same time. But
well,
no,
they
I'm
can't hear
doing
you,
good.
so
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for you guys, I'm here. That means I didn't win Powerball. So I
Uh,
just wanted to get that
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell
Well,
you if
it's
I
not
won or
over
not.
yet. It ain't over yet.
I'm not going to tell you if I won or not.
Well, it was on Saturday, right?
It's one tonight too.
That's
No,
what
it ain't.
it's
Oh,
a
we gotta wrap this up.
billion.
No.
Is it tonight or tomorrow?
Tonight.
It's
Oh,
a
we wrapping
billion
this up. I
billion.
gotta go to the store.
Yeah. So, all right. So, but today we're gonna have a little fun. Today, I know our last episode we talked about something good. We talked about dementia, and we are going to be working on part two coming up in the next few weeks. But today we're going to do what I'm call television turnover. So we're going to talk about some older television shows and how they would relate to today. But as always, we're going to start with our today's tidings. And Nando, if you got a today's tidings for us, what do you have?
Just as I was saying, it's interesting how I'm looking at my Instagram, all that other stuff, and everybody's telling me how I'm supposed to spend my money once I win the Powerball. So I'm trying to figure out where was all that advice when my little paycheck was coming in,
Mhm.
and where was that advice then? Why you want to give me advice now? Where was the advice then? So I'm just tripping about all these experts coming out the woodworks telling me how I'm going to spend my money when you didn't help me when I was broke. Come on.
Well,
You
they're
didn't get
helping
my
you with
text.
the
You didn't get my text.
They're helping you with the excess. I mean,
Yeah.
come on,
Come on, man. No. I don't like those people.
So what do you got for me, Cub?
Mine's a little on the harder side. While I was in bed, dealing with this last Monday, there was another school shooting in Minnesota. I'm just sick of the school bullshit.
Yeah.
Why? I don't get it. Why? It's like almost like a fascination. Let's go to a school and kill a bunch of fucking kids. It's a pet peeve. It annoys me to no end. If you've got that issue, go in the parking lot, go in your car, go out in the woods and shoot yourself in the fucking head. It's, I've got a grandson that's old enough, who's in school. And every time that happens, like, Jesus, let him focus on school instead of this other crap. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm just over it. There's another element to that, gun control and all that. And that's something we talk about later. I don't want to get super political about it, but I'm just over with the school shooting bullshit. They shouldn't
Yeah,
have to deal
I
with.
don't get that one. And this one kind of made me think, how we all the concept, and you probably seen it all through the news. The Minneapolis mayor is like, well, all the thoughts and prayers stuff that they talk about when there's a shooting or a killing. He's like, the kids are literally praying, when they got shot. So it's
I
like,
mean,
what are we talking about?
but it's this thing with school. I just don't get it. I don't
Mhm.
get it.
Yeah.
And it's not just high school or, little kids in Sandy Hook and the
Yeah.
college. I'm just over it.
Well,
Okay.
one of the things to keep in mind, and I think all of us have went through that when we were in grade school and high school, we had cliques. We had fellow-minded individuals like us. If you played sports, if you were on a basketball, you were sitting in the cafeteria with basketball. If you were black, you were sitting with the blacks. If you were white and the rockers, you were sitting the rockers. If you were listening to techno alternative music, you had a clique of certain minded individuals that was similar to you. These kids nowadays don't have that because I believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because of the game council that they're always playing games, they're not out there meeting like-minded individuals like them. They're not talking to individuals. So when they go to school, they're really all alone. And that, I believe, somewhat contributes to not balancing, hey, I'm gonna go grab a gun and I don't, that shit is just
But
wicked.
but for me, it's that how do those two meet? Okay, you lack social skills. You don't have the click or the the little social group that other people have. But how does that translate to? Well, I'm gonna go buy some guns and I'm gonna go shoot some people at school. I'm lost on it, and it just pisses me off. You know, it's gonna keep happening until we grow a set of nuts in this country and make some changes.
No. No doubt.
That's my major pet peeve. Sorry to start off on, kind of a
No, it's a discussion that
Well,
matches it matches our audience, and
we
we're
didn't
having
deal with that
discussions
crap.
for
We
yeah,
didn't
we
deal
just
with
had
it.
to deal with a tornado, get in the hall. There might be a tornado coming,
yeah.
That was yeah.
practicing like that. That was it. Now they're talking about diving
Active
under
shooter
chairs
drills.
because
They
there's
all
somebody
have active
shooting.
shooter drills,
Yeah,
Right.
which we
yeah,
never had, and that is definitely a brothers crossing major event.
yeah, yeah.
Should we have
Well,
an
my
active
my
shooter drill?
what's that?
Should we have an active shooter drill?
Well, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
a water gun and
yeah.
squirt you in the head.
This is run, run. That's
I'm gonna
funny.
get under my table. Just let me know when I need to get out and come back on.
My tidings today, and it's funny. It's at the end of the summer, right? But I was reading something in the news, and I'm a beach person. Me and my wife like to go to beaches and islands to go enjoy the water. So I was reading something. There's like today or this week from Maine to Florida, there have been hazard warnings that because the bacteria
Yeah,
in the ocean is too
I saw
high
I
from
saw it in San
fecal
Diego.
matter. I'm like,
What?
fecal matter. Yes. And they said it's kind of been prevalent all over the place. And they were saying throughout the year, say 2024, two-thirds of the beaches in America had at least a day or two where they were over a certain standard of bacteria level based on fecal matter.
Mm.
And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, oh my God, have I been swimming in the poo poo? I've been swimming in the poo poo, swimming in the poo poo. My gosh. I'm like, so I gotta, I gotta reassess some things. But yeah, that one caught me like, oh my God,
I saw
it's
that
everywhere.
today for San Diego beaches that several of them had closed
Yeah,
because
they
of
were
high
saying it
bacteria.
was like they said like 84% of the beaches in the Gulf Coast have had this bacteria problem. 79% on the West Coast, 54 on the East Coast, and 71 in the Great Lakes areas. I'm like, oh my God. And a lot of it they said had to do with some of the weather we've had. We've had severe rains, and so the sewage systems hasn't been able to drain, and it kind of moves out to the ocean kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm
I know
sorry.
I know there's wastewater when I lived in San Diego that there's a long pipe, if you will, that goes out into the ocean
Yeah.
that dumps waste,
Yes.
and that would make sense. You got some crappy swimming
Why y'all
situations.
swimming? Why y'all still going in the water?
I ain't going in the
Them
water. I'm just
beaches
like,
are packed. They're packed with people letting their kids go in. They on a book, they on Facebook, and they kids swimming. And then they get to the car and they try to drive them off. And then they're like, you still smell. Why are
Yeah.
you letting them still
Yeah.
go in the water?
No, there.
I
Well, you
agree
got to
with you.
use the free showers and stuff. I can
Yeah.
speak to Coronado Beach, where we always went in San Diego. They've got showers and stuff when you're leaving, and that hopefully everyone used to get the not only the sand and the salt water, and people bring their soap and everything and clean out
And the
before you get to the
papa.
car.
Okay, Cub. So when you jump in the shower, you just turn the water on. Where is there soap near
You,
there where you can get some
dude,
soap and soap up, or you just putting water and be
you,
like, I'm
you
clean?
people that prepare and plan ahead, like most of us, maybe yourself excluded, you bring you bring that stuff with you for when you're exiting before you get in your car. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
everybody knows this. Many people are saying everyone knows this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I just thought it was interesting. So people who like to go to the beach like myself, be careful. And one, probably be kinder to our planet. But the second part is like, yeah, be careful. And because you can get like gastro affects your stomach and you can
Oh
get like
yeah,
rashes and
you
nausea
get
and stuff like that.
nausea. Oh yeah, you'd be sick to your stomach, to everything. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
totally.
So be careful when you swim in the poop poop.
And don't drink the water.
Yeah. Well, that was today's tiding. That's pretty fun, but we're going to do something fun and, go back to our days when we were watching television. We're going to call this television turnover. So we're going to talk about the theory of the show is to talk about shows when we were growing up in the 70s, maybe in the 80s that were on and they're no longer on. And we want to discuss whether they could make it today or they couldn't make it today. So we're just going to throw some shows out there. I know you guys thought about this, and I know you guys used to sit in front of your TV a lot. So I'm sure you got a long list of shows that we can have this discussion about. So, Nando, being the lead out hitter, throw a show out there that we're going to start on the side where the shows that we used to watch that probably would not make it today. Not only because they're not on anymore, but because their concept or whatever. What show back in the 70s or 80s that was on TV that you'd say, they would probably it couldn't be allowed today?
No, that's a good question. Um, thinking thinking off of the top of the head, one of the shows would have to be because we moving on up to the east side.
George?
George Jefferson, man, George Jefferson, the way he treated his son who was marrying the sister, but her daddy was white, and the way he treated his housekeeper, the way he treated everybody who wasn't rich, man, George Jefferson would probably had
Mm.
2 episodes and would have been gone.
Just because the way he talked to him, like,
The way he talked to them, the way I mean, think about it. Nothing against you, Cub. We cool. But ain't nobody calling white boys a honking anymore, dog. You can't even honk on the
You know,
airways.
I I would be totally I would be honored for someone to call me a honky. I haven't heard that in so long.
That's
that
what I mean. You can't call somebody honky on TV because then you get the rights in the South be like, all right, if they can call, it starts getting to be too much. When we were younger, it was entertainment, but that's what happened when we walked out the door. When we walked out the door, that's what we were hearing.
right.
But nowadays, dog, we can pull that off nowadays. Not George. George couldn't do it, man. No.
But
I
something
think
that
the
just
concept would work. It'd be like, okay, you moving on up. He owned a laundromat. Now he's
but what about
moved
the
on up.
stuff they do on Saturday Night Live?
But it wasn't
They
like
can ed-
before.
It wasn't like
well,
George.
well, I remember seeing a clip of Richard Pryor and Chevy Chase. And Chevy Chase is asking Richard Pryor questions.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I just
And
saw that
he's
this
like,
weekend
what do
on
you call
YouTube.
it? He's like, honky. and,
Yeah.
he, and he
Yeah,
threw
honky.
out another, and he go, honky, honky. And I mean, it was brutal. But
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live's had that and they're obviously still around today, where they've lived on the edge of a lot of,
But even their stuff a little watered down
yeah.
more than back then. Back
Yeah,
in
they
that
don't use
day.
that nowadays. You don't see that head to head. But my
But
vote would be the Jeffersons.
yeah. But I think, to play along that same line, the Jeffersons originated from what?
All in the
All in the
Family.
Family.
One of the, Norman Lear was a genius, and to come up with that. But I'll
But he was,
collect my thought here. But
yeah,
I mean, it would be cool to see that happen today,
yeah.
and to see how people deal with it. But
No, they wouldn't.
things
And
are.
people would not deal with it, boy.
No, they wouldn't.
They would
You
not
know
deal
what?
with that.
I would be willing to bet you that if they reincarnated that show, right, exactly the way it was back then, but in a modern setting, that would be the number one show in this country.
No way.
It would be
No way.
number one
No,
because
no.
people understand the entertainment out of it.
So that's fun. So the Jeffersons and we had All in the Family. So we know they were linked together conceptually. Cub, you think they can make it? We think it would struggle. Give us another show, Cub, that you think could not make it today.
The Dukes of Hazzard. They'd
Yeah.
be still popular in the South, but on
Yeah, they
the
would.
rest of the world, it would be a negative.
Now, so the concept of that show, remind me of the concept, because I was not a Duke of Hazzard fan at all.
I mean, I was so young, but I just, the car was a huge piece of that. The generally with the Confederate flag,
Yeah, I know that part. Yeah.
And the sister, that they were in their Daisy Dukes, hence the
Daisy
term
Duke.
Daisy Dukes, or hence the
girl
term
with
where
the Daisy
that
Duke
came, where that came from. But I don't really remember much about
Yeah.
what the show was about. It was just, these guys were always running from the sheriff and his goofy,
Boss Hog, I think his
Boss
name, right?
Hog, and
Oh, Pete Culture.
I don't. Were they moving? Were they moving moonshine? Was that what it was?
Uncle Jesse. Yes.
That's okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
that would make it.
And it makes
They
sense.
didn't make it
with
on my
the,
TV then. So
You didn't watch it?
no. Couple times.
Stop it! Come
A
on.
couple times when I had to see the Daisy Dukes, but that was about it.
Just before you were going to bed, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, think about these shows we're talking about. We're talking about in the well, Dukes of Hazzard, I think, came in later in the 70s, but All in the Family and the Jeffersons, we were the 70s. This is when we were sitting in front of our TV with our family. This is when our
Yeah.
age group where we had family night, where we were watching these shows religiously. And then I was about to cuss. Here's the messed up thing about it, is when you had them old TVs and your daddy made you stand and hold the hanger while everybody else was watching the TV. While you was watching, you can only hear it, but you couldn't watch it. That's when
That
we
happened
had
at your house?
Yes, it did. I had to hold the hanger.
Damn, you were
Dang,
you a broke ass.
He got that's some swamp
We
meat
had.
TV
I
there.
remember ours was.
I didn't know
You're
the
so
coat hanger
harsh.
thing. I knew about like the aluminum foil. It used to be aluminum foil you used to
Yeah,
put
the
on
aluminum
antennas
foil
too.
on the hanger. And you had to hold the hanger. Like, yeah, Pops, is it working? And you sitting here going like this. Shit, there it is. Jokes. It's jokes, ladies and gentlemen. We were not that poor. I'm just jokes. But the thing about the point was we had family night where everybody, the mother, the father, brothers, sisters, friends, cousins, we all sat in front of the TV and watched those shows, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, and possibly.
But think about our age at that time, and we were watching All in the Family. At our age, young kids watching Archie and that whole thing.
Yeah, my daddy didn't like Archie Bunker.
Parents would.
He was
He
not
didn't
a
like
fan of
Archie?
Archie. No, huh? He didn't like Archie.
Even when George would come knocking on the door and he'd open
Yeah,
up the
when
door,
George came,
he'd
he
always have
liked
that.
that.
He'd always have that expression like,
Right. That's how my dad watched All in the Family like that. So the other one, I'm gonna bring one up, and I know this will not make it. Would have never made it. Chico and the Man. Now,
Yeah.
Chico and the Man would.
I never really saw that show, so you'd have to help
Jack
me out on that
Alverson
one.
had a garage, and he was living in East LA. In East LA, it was starting to turn, like the demographics were turning. And so Chico was a Mexican American dude that was trying to get a job at this garage, and he would never go away. He was always coming to the garage, and similar in concept, a lot of derogatory words and so on. And then the other part, I'm like, I might not have to be a right to say it, but man, Ice would have been all over that damn show. down in East LA. Like it just been about ice raisins.
There would only
But
been one actor. That's the only one
yeah,
who was born in America. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah, Freddie Prince. But
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to bring it back. Have
Oh,
his son
yeah,
play
Freddie
Freddie
Prinze. Yeah,
Prince.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yep, I remember.
So
Freddie
Mhm.
if
Prinze.
that is the case, we listed a couple shows that could not play today. Let's go back to what shows could play today.
Well, I got one more that could not play today, and I think this is
Okay.
this is the cherry on top. Benny Hill.
Hold on. To the
How-
audience that are listening, please go to YouTube and just look up the Benny Hill Show and then come back to this episode and then you'll know what we're talking about.
Benny Hill. I mean, oh my gosh. And men, especially if you're British or, had that in your family, Benny Hill was always a great one to see. But yeah, you want to talk about living on the edge, sexism and everything
Yeah.
else. Yeah, I don't think that one would go today.
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't know about it till like in grade school. I was at a Catholic grade school, and somebody like, "Oh, you didn't watch Benny Hill?" I'm like, "Who the fuck's Benny Hill?" And then I started watching it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, what the heck is this?" And I used to
Got
love the
That means
old man. That old man used to crack me up.
But it was just pure genius.
well,
Was.
you guys must have been staying up because where I'm from, it didn't come on until 10:30 at night. It's
Yeah.
like 10:30 or
Yeah, it
11
was
at
late.
night. That's when Benny Hill
Hey
came
man,
on.
don't
Yes.
forget there's summer. Back then we had 3 months of summer vacation, so not like it
Yeah.
is today.
Nah, Benny Hill would not make it. But I don't think any kind of variety show can make it anymore besides like SNL or anything of that nature. Like the Benny Hill style shows couldn't make it like that today.
No.
Reality. You work in a
Yeah, and
All right.
so let's talk about a couple shows that would have made good television for today. Maybe with a tweak here and there, but what do you got, Nando?
I would think, my boy, it is dynamite. Good Times would fit
Yes,
well
yes.
today with every problem that happened in the hood and the stories that go along with them of a man who's trying to make sure his family makes it. He's got smart kids. He's got kids who aren't in trouble going to jail. Just that, just listen to him talking smack. Yeah, I would say Good Times.
That's a good times too.
Definitely.
But I hate when if you were trying to redo it, like sometimes they try to do it exactly like we have to have a JJ Evans. Like, no,
No, we don't.
just make a different character, but the concept carries. I think and it's fun. And there's only really one Jimmy Walker that could play that JJ role. It was outstanding. So
JJ was everybody's uncle at the picnic. So as you got older and was at the picnic, you always looked around and you always had a JJ Walker at your picnic.
yeah,
True.
yeah.
Very true.
Here's one I was thinking about. I'm like, it might work, it might not work, but what about Who's the Boss? Remember the show Who's the Boss?
Was that more 80s or is that more
I was more, yeah,
I think
it was 80s. I was like 84 towards
Okay.
the end of
who
the
was
80s.
who was in
I
that?
was with Tony Danza, and he was playing.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
yeah,
was like
yeah.
a
Yeah. And
former professional pitcher, and he became the housekeeper, and Alyssa Milano's
he had
daughter.
the hots
Ooh.
for the
Yeah,
mother, and they could,
Alyssa Milano.
just
Yeah.
that sexual tension. They just could
Yeah,
never.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, would a former baseball player or professional athlete ever become a housekeeper in these day and age? You'd be like,
I
yeah.
want to see Barry Bonds
No.
as a housekeeper.
No. No.
But I think
I
the
mean,
show concept would be funny. I think it could work. But yeah, that was a late 80s show from about 84 to 92. And I watched it. I watched it. So
I think one that would definitely work today would be, and there's a couple of them that come to mind right away. Mary Tyler Moore,
Yeah.
Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
mhm.
Those would both totally work today, especially the Bob Newhart, dry humor, just his type of humor,
He was
Yeah,
so
but-
boring.
But Mary Tyler Moore, you didn't like Bob Newhart?
Oh no, I love Bob Newhart, but he's just so boring. And you're sitting there watching him, and his
Yeah.
dry humor was just so funny. And I can't believe they kept a straight face.
Yeah.
Everybody who was in the scene with him, as he's sitting there,
And just what he would say, it was just like spot on.
yeah. Yeah.
And Mary Tyler Moore, for the single woman, which totally applies today into her career and dealing with all the white-head old men running stuff. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
show would totally work today.
Yeah, I agree.
The show I had also written down, but they already did it, is the Wonder Years. They did a black version of the Wonder Years.
Oh, they
It was
did do
about a
that.
couple of years ago.
ABC.
They
Yeah.
did?
Yep.
ABC did it. Google it.
Yeah.
I,
So they
I
had the
missed it.
Wonder Years with Fred Savage and then another one
I missed
on the
it.
black version. But I would like to see them like move it up. Like I would like to see them move it up instead of always focus on the late 60s and 70s, maybe because we're far enough along. Move it to the 80s.
Who is in that?
The
What
one with
channel was it? The second rollout.
the
The
second
black
version.
version.
He's
Yeah,
talking the
did you
black
remember
version. You see what the honky talking about. He
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the black version.
Yeah. Honky,
You
honky.
know Dooley Hill from Psych? Ever seen the show Psych?
Oh, West
No.
Wing.
And West Wing. Dooley Hill was on Psych when they were
No.
the detectives or whatever, but
Nope.
he was like the father and then some other young.
And how long did this
black
show
actor.
last?
I remember
many
watching
seasons?
it for a couple year, like couple seasons. Yeah,
That's it?
yeah, but yeah, again, the concept wise, it works. I just like to see them updated a little bit, and not focus on the 60s and 70s. Like go to the 80s and 90s or something.
I mean,
what's
80s.
What was the one with Michael J. Fox and the family when he was the brother?
Family Ties, aren't you talking about?
Family Ties.
Family
yeah.
Ties you could do. Facts of Life with
Yep.
Tootsie and the rest of them. They can do that.
Yep.
Okay, here's a challenging one. Because of the premise of the show, and where would you guys vote for Different Strokes? Is it a show that could play today or a show that couldn't because of the storylines, which right dude, two brothers from the hood, a white girl living in a house? So would you say it could play or not play today?
Ah. I don't think it'll play. I don't think it could play.
I mean, they could play with that storyline and have all kinds of entertainment. I don't think it would survive reincarnating its premise
Right.
from back then into current time. No, I don't think so.
But I think some of those shows, like Gary Coleman, was just special in that show. I don't think you could find
You
another
can't.
Gary Coleman.
Yeah,
No, you
you're
can't.
not. No.
Yeah.
Let's
He
talk
was-
about Willis.
Oh, here's the last one for you guys to vote on because you brought up Chico and the Man, similar to Los Angeles, similar to that area. Where are you guys voting for my favorite man? I'm getting ready to join you, Elizabeth. Sanford and Son. Where
Oh
are you?
yeah,
Sanford and Son.
No,
you big
Sanford
dummy.
didn't make it.
You big dummy.
Nah,
I-
man, I'm, you know,
I think that
it was
show
a
could
lot of
totally
N-words
do-
dropped in that one. Like it was, yeah, everybody. Yes.
I don't remember hearing that.
If you go look on
Google.
YouTube or some of the reels that people put out, oh my God, Esther, his sister-in-law,
His sister-in-law, who he hated,
they're like,
his boy Grady,
yeah,
the cops that came, the white cop and the black cop that came, and then he had the neighbor who was a Hispanic. He kept talking about him going back to his
Well, about go back to Mexico, but I don't ever remember hearing the N-word.
Oh
on
my
that
God.
show.
I remember seeing Esther was talking to her boyfriend or a man.
her
He was
husband,
like,
the drunk.
and he was like, I think I'm Lamont's daddy or something. Or something happened with a question. And she was like, nigga, what? I'm like,
I
heard
just
that.
it's been a long time since I've seen the show, but
And that's
I-
another show that when you Google it, you'll laugh, but that's another show that I can't believe these comedians kept a straight face as they were just throwing out zingers, while they're
Yeah.
taping the show. And you're sitting here, we're laughing. And I'm like, how can you guys not be laughing at these zingers that they're throwing out?
But I don't think that any of the white actors ever slung that word around.
No.
I think
No.
it was
No.
black to black.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. I think there's one show. I know we're going to wrap it up pretty soon here, but Taxi. Yes or no? I mean,
I think
given the
that can
current
play today.
environment of Uber and all that, do taxi houses even exist anymore like that?
They do, but I just don't know that people would be. I don't know that it would just make it just on its premise.
Yeah.
It was fine in New York because that's where it was based off, where it was a melting pot. Everybody knew
Mhm.
all these different nationalities was coming in from New York and these different people trying to survive and make it. But how can you make Taxi today? It's like, do you make it out of, you can change it to Uber or you can change it to Lyft.
Or
Yeah,
something.
Nah, because Uber's
it's hard.
individual, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that one would make it even though it was funny at the time. I don't think
What
it would.
about Three's Company or Charlie's Angels?
The
Well,
detective
Charlie's Angels
show,
obviously made it because they made a whole franchise of movies, so I think that's a one
Well,
that can.
but getting ready for the show today, I did some Googling, and that was a show, at least according to the site, that would not make it today, is Charlie's
what?
Angels.
Why? Because you have Bosley and you
Because
have the three
because
girls.
well, because it was more about the look of the women and the sexism, if you will. That, think back. If you had three very
Mm.
unattractive women, would that show have taken off?
No, but I'm just saying,
I'm just being honest. It wouldn't.
why couldn't
So
you have
so
3 attractive women now? I mean, women now. You could do it now.
I'm just telling you what, Mr. Google said.
Mr.
Yeah,
Google
okay.
doesn't understand what today's parameters are. You put Selma Hayek, you put
Anybody.
any three girls in any three girls of along that nature, and you put an old man, put Samuel Jackson as Mr. Bosley, and you got the three
Everybody
girls
goes.
sitting there. I think it's in. I think it's in.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the other show you said before that?
Three's Company.
Three's Company would make it. It would just be
Because remember, the premise was that he faked being gay so he could be a
Rent the
roommate,
apartment.
rent the apartment with the other women.
yeah, I still think it would make it.
But everybody will want him to be, the premise would be want him to be gay, actually be gay so that he can be in an apartment. But the premise of it back in the 70s was he wasn't gay. So all these women, he was coming and him and what's his guy? Larry. Yeah.
Larry, yeah,
Yeah,
the
Carter
player,
Field
the
Larry.
the player, the player,
Larry, got it.
Yes.
and the nosy old neighbor.
And I'll throw one more out, and if you guys have one more, we can wrap it up soon. What about the show Benson? Remember Benson? It was a derivative of the series Soap. Remember
Yep.
the series Soap?
God, soap.
It,
Oh
Soap
God.
and
wouldn't
then
make
there
it.
was so he was like the butler or whatever, house servant, and then he got loaned to the governor of a state, and he became Benson. And I'm like, that whole concept of I'm
I,
lending you my help. I'm like, yeah, I don't think Benson
well,
gonna make it, bro.
I'm gonna shut up on that point because you know where I'm about to go, man.
Yeah.
say it, say it, say it.
Isn't that the same thing as slavery? When hey, guess what? I'm gonna loan you this brother who gonna come to your yeah. That show would not make it. No,
Thank you.
I vote no.
But he lived in much nicer conditions and was paid.
Yeah, for
I don't know. Mm,
You can talk about those shows like you guys mentioned Soap. I don't think Soap would be able to make. I mean, think about all these shows
no,
we just mentioned on this broadcast that we used to sit here and watch as little kids and how that shaped our mind with the color of somebody's skin, whatever that they want to do. Just think about that was shaping us when we were younger.
But when I can only speak for myself, obviously, but when I was watching those shows, I was not looking at it from a perspective of black and white. It was
Correct.
just pure entertainment. Loved
Yeah.
how they went back and forth and made fun of each other and call each other's name, and we just laughed about it. We didn't, turn off the TV and get into a hardcore conversation about, you really shouldn't be speaking that way against, an individual that's, not white. And it was just entertainment. And I
Yeah.
think
yeah,
now it would be more difficult because people are hypersensitive to a certain degree,
yeah,
and have forgotten the just, everybody's got to laugh, leave
mhm,
the hard stuff at the door and just have a good time and enjoy the
yeah,
entertainment value of it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I agree, but I think that's back in those shows. Yes, we did understand the concept of it being kind of funny, but when they had to come up to certain subject, they tiptoed up to them. They were very delicate with certain topics, but now everything would be too sensitive. It's not funny anymore to be remember they used to highlight, "Oh, he's gay," or whatever. That's not a funny concept anymore. It's kind of more accepted in our general culture. Yeah.
So
So we
Hollywood,
love to
if you're
hear
listening,
yeah. Yeah. We'd love to hear in the comments. I think we did this show kind of to reminisce on some of the TV shows that we were watching and how to bring them in today. That's kind of our whole concept. Brothers Crossing.
I hate to bring it up for the young people that might be listening. Our era had that where they were going up against the line, but they didn't go over the line, but they made it, like you had said, entertainment. So when you're
Yes.
looking at our shows, when you're looking at the comedies, we bought albums. We would put it on the thing and we would listen to an album. It isn't something that we go on YouTube. Hey, let me hear the newest joke you have. And you only got one
Right.
joke. When an album, you're listening to a half hour full of just comedy. So yeah, all these shows you bring up, if anybody could, I would just go to YouTube, watch an episode of all these shows we brought up tonight, and you'll understand how we grew up and how we are the way we are.
Yeah.
you know, and it's deep too,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. If you know, you
Yeah.
know.
So, all right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you if you guys are joining again. Welcome to the community. We want to expand it. Hopefully, tell a friend, and remember, as always, look left, look right. Brothers are crossing. Good night.
See you guys.